I know how to get it once Windows loads. I'll have to find it in the BIOS. I'm happy playing around in the BIOS. I won't change anything if I don't need to, but
Who is Charlotte?
It's me, Barbara.
Oh. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Sherry.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Hi, Dave.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Who else do we have on here?
Just three of us.
All right. And Amanda is here with me in my office, and she'll be taking our minutes tonight.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, we'll wait on a few more. We need one more.
this is preferred over having to ship it out, wait for it to get back.
When I've gotten all this know-how.
Maybe I'll send a quick text, although I already sent a reminder today. Barbara, you would be a good one for us to pick your brain on a few things, because I know you ran the after-school program for a number of years from Ashford School, right?
Yep, that's true.
Did you work
14.
for EastCon at the time?
It was EastCon for the first several years, and then it was a different person for the last couple of years.
Okay. What were the biggest problems or obstacles with the program, Barbara?
Well, we ran it as a licensed daycare, so that I wasn't a problem or an obstacle, but it was a challenge because they'd come and say things like this: the swing chains were too loose, or the garbage wasn't covered, and those are things that are in place at the school, not really under our control.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not running as a licensed daycare, it's a lot easier.
Okay. Was it you working it alone most of the time, Barbara? Or you
No,
always had an
as
assistant
a
with
licensed
you?
daycare, you always have to have 2 adults.
Yep. 2 adults.
You have to have a 1 to 10 ratio,
Yep.
but a
And
minimum
was
of
it
2. So
hard
even if
getting-
there was one child and their parent was late, you still had to have 2 of you there. Dave, there's something I think of so often, which is when I came to school with Jonathan and he was very tiny, you
Yes.
looked at Chelsea and you looked at me and you said something about the time goes so quickly.
Oh,
And that was one of the most truest things I've ever heard about being a parent, because now Jonathan's 23.
and Chelsea's 31 and getting
Isn't
married.
that crazy? And I
And
still feel the same.
What's that?
I still feel the same, but now 23 doesn't seem as old as it used to be. I'll bet to you 31 doesn't seem as old as it used to be.
No, they grow up fast. I can't believe it.
Do you have any electronic device with you? Can you send Leslie Bazil the info? She's asking for it. Leslie Bazil is asking for the Zoom, the meeting
Address.
to her email.
Yeah, just the 5th person makes everything shrink. So.
Yeah, LO, L. Mearback. Let me. I don't know the rest off the top of my head.
I don't want to change the Charlotte to Barbara because I'm worried I might forget to put it back and my aunt won't know how.
I'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes. I gotta eat dinner.
Oh, good. You guys are coming in.
Well, I'm going to eat dinner right now because it's too early for me. Nancy has to go to work in 20 minutes, so we're
Well,
having
just
dinner. I'll be
stay,
back.
just stay plugged in, Dan. Andrew. I don't think I have it in my phone and I don't know. Am I gonna lose these guys if I go into my email and try to get it?
Not if you open up a new tab, I think, or minimize it.
Okay,
I'll
so
text it to her,
minimize
Sherry.
them. What was that?
I'll text it to her.
Thank you. She asked for it emailed.
So Barb, how old is your other one?
21. And
Jeez.
Matthew joined the Coast Guard in January of 2020,
Oh, wow.
which was awkward because COVID came right when they were at basic training and they got stuck down there. And then they got
Cape
carted
May?
off to Maine. So I didn't see him from
Okay.
January until May. And the only reason I saw him in May is we drove his car up, visited in a park for 2 hours, and then drove home again.
Where's he stationed out of?
He's in Booth Bay. Well, he was in Booth
Oh.
Bay Harbor at the rescue station first.
Okay,
Then the Coast Guard made a new rule. You could only stay at your first station for a year and you had to get more training. So he got more training last summer. And now he still lives in Booth Bay, but he's on the Rockland, the little icebreaker in Rockland.
oh, geez,
So during the winter, they broke the ice on the Penobscot and the Kennebec rivers.
tough job, huh?
Apparently the toughest job is someone has to always babysit the boat, and it's often him because he has no family. I mean,
Yeah.
no husband, wife and everything. Well, when you babysit the boat, you have to stay on the boat and sleep on it at night at the dock. And this happens once a week.
Oh, geez.
So
That
so it's
doesn't
not, I
sound
guess
too
it's
rough.
kind of boring. It's,
Oh,
well,
yeah, I couldn't
it's one of
imagine.
those things where it sounds really cushy, but I guess it gets boring because you keep thinking of things you'd like to do other than sitting on a boat.
Yes.
And you can watch TV or read a book or play a computer game, but that's about
You're
it.
welcome to come over closer. if you
Does he enjoy himself, though?
Yeah, I think he did this all on his own.
Okay.
Other than one of my uncles, no one's ever been in the service or anything. Well, Gene went in the army, but only to get money to go to college.
Yeah.
He didn't make a career of it.
Oh, he's making a career out of the Coast Guard?
Well, he signed up for 6 years, so
Oh,
at the end of
nice.
6 years, if he doesn't choose to continue, that's fine.
Yeah.
But he's quite well compensated too. It's like, as long as you can endure the basic training, you're all set, because the basic training
Oh,
was
basic
horrible.
training, simple.
Well, not in the Coast Guard, apparently. He nearly quit several times.
Well, what did he have to do in Coast Guard?
You have a basic training just like the Army, but it's much worse than the Army. And he ended up placed in something called ramp, where they basically, after the fact, I read people have died in that, and I'm glad I didn't read it ahead of time,
Oh, geez.
because they treat you very, that's not good. But he got through the basic training and now he gets the housing allowance, he gets the food allowance, he gets a decent salary. If he travels anywhere, they pay him 60 cents a mile.
Nice.
Yeah, so
He'll be
I
in.
admire him for making that, having that ambition to do that all on his own.
Well, it's nice too. The nice country up there, Booth Bay
Yeah,
area.
I know, I was so happy when he got stationed in Maine, not in Texas or something,
Or Alaska.
too.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'm not sure what the holdup with Leslie coming on. I think we
Oh.
should probably get started.
Yeah, we have to get started because like myself, I have to be off by 6:30. I have.
Okay,
Right.
let's try and go quickly then.
Yeah.
Is there any need for introductions? Well, Barbara Renna is here tonight to speak for the public and to talk to us about a program idea she has. And does everybody else know everybody? Dave Roston and Amanda Holden are our newer members. I think everybody else knows everybody.
Charlie, how are you? I'm Andrew. Hold on one sec. Oop. Can't start video again. What happened? Well, I'm Andrew. One day. And I'm in IT. What the hell's going on? Oops, sorry. Computer stink.
Okay. I do not have a financial report for this year yet. It started in July 1 and we're only August, so I don't have a financial report yet, but I can tell you that the programs we've run for this fiscal year, which is our summer camp, our concert series and our barbecue all came off good with good numbers. And our bike camp was part of last fiscal year. And swimming lessons, the income came in last fiscal year and the expenses get spent in this fiscal year. So that one's a little hokey, but all our programs are running. Things are looking good. Next, we just move on to public to be heard, and that's Barbara. You want to just go for it, Barbara, and present your idea?
Sure. So
Okay.
there's a type of dancing that my mother introduced me to when I was in high school that I left for a long time, but I recently got back to it within the last 5 years. It's called English country dancing. And if you think about Virginia Reel meets Pride and Prejudice, that's what it is. So some of the dances you do are from the 16th and 17th centuries. Some are more modern compositions, but they're not quite as lively as the Virginia Reel. You have men and women or people playing those roles, and it's something you do in groups. And it's a type of dancing that there used to be a group in Rhode Island pre-pandemic. There used to be a group in Amherst. And these types of dances usually meet once a month with live music. But there are other people recently who have run different kinds of dances off their computer, just as a way for people who like these dances to get together somewhere in a group and continue to do this art form. So my idea was I would like to try doing an English dance once a month in Ashford. And the reason I approached the recreation department is I don't need any compensation for this. I just need a place to do it. And if the recreation department felt they needed to charge a fee to the participants to get turned over to the recreation department, that would be okay. The only obligation on your part would be just to provide the space. And then your name that this program is sponsored by you because you're providing the space. If I had such a thing, it would just be people volunteering to get together. You'd promote it, they'd come, they'd do their dancing, they'd go home. But there are two organizations, national organizations, that if you established a program, I think I could write a grant to get them to pay to have live music sometime in the spring. But prior to that, I would just run it off, music off the
Barbara,
computer.
say that again. You think you could write a grant to do what?
To get an organization to pay for live music in the spring. Sometimes you could have an event that actually had live music and maybe
Yeah.
even a caller that you paid to come and call dances who has the
Yep.
experience. But before that would just be me and other friends who might, they want to just practice calling and try to introduce this to other people, and people who know it could come and dance. Because the group in Amherst has moved to Greenfield, which is very far away. And there was a lot of older people. And the one in Rhode Island hasn't said anything about getting back together, and its leader died, which is not helping anything. So currently
So
there's
when you
no,
talk about a space, Barbara, are you thinking the Knowlton
No.
Town Hall would be the best space?
yeah, the Knowlton Auditorium.
Okay. Would the senior center also possibly be a viable space?
Yeah, I never thought of that, but it would be a viable space, yes.
All right. Barbara
You
sent
wouldn't
me
really
a
want, you wouldn't
video.
want carpet. But
No
those,
carpet.
the senior
Right.
center does have tile, so you wouldn't want like the little room downstairs in the town hall, because that's carpet and it's not
Yep.
as good for that kind of dancing.
Barbara sent me a video and a page description about what she had in mind, and I thought it looked really good. And I would personally would definitely support it, but we wanted to run it by the rec commission and see what you guys thought. She also said that we have I'm sorry, her name's not fresh on the tip of my tongue right now, who's doing the international. folk
Veronica,
dance.
but yeah,
Veronica,
with that
Veronica
that
Myers.
appeal, this would have a broader appeal, broader in
Yep.
ages and broader in interest. I
Yep.
mean, you might even
And
get
this-
some people with homeschoolers or something who want to come and learn about it. Because
Would
there, in
this
other
be
parts, there are people who
replacing
do
her
that.
program, or in addition to, or complementing, or in competition with? How would that work, Barbara?
Say that again?
I said, would this be in place of her international dance
No,
program?
totally independent,
Independent of it. And
totally
we don't
unrelated.
think it would compete. We think it would complement.
It would not compete in any way, no, because it's not gonna pull people from hers because there's not that many people that go to hers. And
Yeah.
people who like the one don't always like the other.
Yep.
Or some people like both. They wouldn't. The only way it would compete is if you ran it at the exact time as hers, and I'm not looking for a weekday afternoon thing. I'm thinking like a weekend afternoon.
Yep. A weekend afternoon, like maybe a Sunday.
Yeah, you know,
at-
like
I
the
think you told
second
me
Sunday
3
or-
or 4 o'clock or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was thinking like, like 2 to 5 or something like that.
Yep. I think that generally is a good time for Knowlton Town Hall, although I don't oversee that. It has to go through Christine.
Right.
And I know that would be a good time at the senior center, like nothing goes on there
Yeah.
on the weekends, so.
So the only thing you need someone to make sure we got in.
Yep. Anybody have anything to discuss about it? Any thoughts, any opinions? Anybody seen this type of dance before, or everybody have a good idea of what it is, or where you at with it, you guys?
Neil here. My first question is, why the Park and Rec Committee? I mean, we don't have anything to do with giving out access to either location.
Well, dancing falls under recreation, and Barbara's really looking for a space that we can give her as a town entity, that she wouldn't have to pay for, and that would be insured if the program was sponsored by us.
So really, it's insurance that she's looking for.
And the space,
Right, but the space isn't ours to give out. That's what I'm saying. We don't decide who uses Knowlton Town Hall or the senior center.
no.
You know, I'm just
We have
saying,
dibs on
I
it,
don't want to.
though.
We don't want to get involved in stuff that really doesn't. We aren't managing, for lack of a better word.
Stuff that
Say
doesn't
that
what?
again, Neil, we don't want to get involved in what?
In something that we aren't managing. All we're providing is a okay. But I think the town itself can do that. I mean, or whoever is providing the space.
Yeah. She could go to the selectmen and request the space.
My only concern is, well, you know, why is it falling under Park and Rec? I have no problem with the program. Program sounds fine for whoever wants to participate. This is more a question of why is it falling under our jurisdiction?
Yeah.
I'd gladly support it. I just don't think Park and Rec is the one to give her space and provide insurance.
Yeah. Dancing falls under a recreational pursuit.
You're not looking for anything to make a profit, correct? So
No.
you're really looking to offer a service.
Yeah,
So
Right.
You're,
something that the community would enjoy, but I wouldn't charge a fee.
exactly. So she's really just offering a service.
I'm proposing a class, basically,
Yeah,
a program.
she's offering another service to the town. She's offering her services to the town. Her interests, her expertise. Correct?
Right.
Yes.
That I understand. It's what does, you know, all Sherry's offering is saying is that, you know, dancing falls under Park and Rec. But anybody can start up a group. They don't need Park and Rec's permission to do that.
Well, you need a space, and the reason many people do not have dances is because no one can afford to rent a space.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's not Park and Rec to give out the space. It's a town to give out the space.
Right, and the town caters to Park and Rec, or we get first dibs over Joe Schmo from the town. Amanda was just saying here that it would also help, our advertising could help Barbara with this, that on the Park and Rec page, we could be listing this dance offering as a service to the community, and it would go out in the Citizen and reach every home in Ashford. Some Park and Recs, Neil, I forget exactly where, I believe it was New Britain at one point in time, actually ran a whole dance school as an after-school program at one of their town facilities.
You're missing my point, Sherry. It has nothing to do with I think this is a valuable enterprise or if the community should be involved in it. That's none of none of that is my concern. It's
Okay,
why is Park and Rec taking it on when all we're going to provide is insurance? Because that's
What is
basically
it
all
you-
I hear.
What is it that you are concerned is that you feel you need to be more involved with? It wouldn't be like you just say, here, have the program, and I do some weird thing that reflects badly on Park and Recreation. It'll be overseen by you. So I'm not sure.
Food's on the table if they want some.
So Neil, basically, she's just offering a service to the community, which is considered a recreational service that would be offered to the town, and she's offering her own expertise, which the town would not have to pay for. The only thing the town would have to be concerned with would be the location, just, the insurance. But she's offering her own services, so the town should can offer this particular kind of dance. I don't think there's any, what is your exact concern?
My concern is, okay, if it falls under Park and Rec, then if it falls under Park and Rec, then it's a Park and Rec program and we take some responsibility for it. Whatever we need to do to ensure that whoever is hosting this passes whatever responsibilities they need, maybe a background check, that kind of stuff. So then we're kind of involved and we're hosting it. Right now, what you would like it, what you'd like, sorry, I'm on.
May I mention that I've known Dave for many years. I've known Sherry for many years. I've lived in Ashford for 33 years. I worked at the Ashford After School program for 14 and a half years. And I was the children's librarian in Ashford for 11 and a half years.
Again, you're taking it wrong. I don't.
I'm not
question
being
who
offended. You seemed like you were saying you don't know how it might run or who might run it. You don't want the town to be embarrassed by having a poorly run program.
Well, I'm saying that, if we take this on, these are all the things we need to do instead of just saying, here's a space and Park and Rec, okay, is this, I think we should do a little more than saying here.
okay.
But, that's my opinion. I'm sure the rest of the committee would have theirs, but I'm just thinking, ideally, this should fall under the town, but that's my opinion. Meaning the selectman or whoever is going to give her the authorization to use the space.
So you're
If
really
Sherry wants to
concerned-
say that this person is fine to use the space, fine. But it's not a Park and Rec thing, but Sherry's saying it is.
So you're concerned with insurance liabilities, such as like if somebody gets hurt, or let's say, well, Barbara, are you the only one who would be running this program, or you're the only one who'd be the per se expert? Or
I would run it, and then it could be like, if normally when someone organizes a dance, sometimes if there's someone there who wants to call a dance, they'll have a turn, just like if you had a jam for a band, one person would organize it, but different people might come and play music. Or if you had, I don't know, a singing activity, one person would organize it, but you might say, oh, so-and-so knows a new song, let's let them sing a song. So,
Mhm.
All right, so
I mean, obviously in a dance, you have more than one person in the room because.
is there
it's a
some
dance.
sort of like liability aspect, Neil, that you're concerned about in regard to like somebody getting hurt? Something to that effect? Like twisting an ankle, breaking a leg, something to that effect?
Well, my concern is that anything happens and this is okayed by the Park and Rec, then it comes back to Park and Rec. You know, she's asking for a space to use, but really we're providing much more than a space if Park and Rec says this is okay.
Could I get like a Reader's Digest version quickly about what's transpired?
We have someone in the public who would like to start up a dance program. She's asking to have a space provided for this activity. My concern is that why would the Park and Rec be involved if all she needs is a space? Then it would be whoever is managing that space would provide access. If she's asking for insurance, then it's much more involved than just a space. So I'm trying to establish what we're really getting involved in.
Well, don't a lot of people sign papers when they participate in a program saying that they understand that the Ashford Park and Recreation is no way responsible for illness or injury?
Right. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You're asking for more than a space. You're asking for the backing of the town, insurance, and whatever comes along with it.
But I believe in a lot of recreation programs, people sign a paper saying that they understand the Parks and Recreation Department is not responsible for illness or injury.
They understand it, but it doesn't release us from liability.
Yep, when it's our program, we would probably need to get waived if it becomes quote unquote our program and not just a rental that the selectmen give to Barbara. If it's under our auspices, we would need waivers signed. And Dan's right, yes, that it does say that they're not liable for accident or injury or damage, but it isn't like foolproof. They could still sue the town if they so desired or thought there was something negligent or liable with it.
Well, that's
Right.
all
Knock on wood,
because-
we've been very lucky through all the years, and this is part of our business as far as I'm concerned. I'm very comfortable working with Barbara and with this type of program. I think it fits into our under our recreation auspices very well.
So why do we have to be involved in it? If we're not running it, if we're not promoting it, if we don't have anything to do with it? Just a question. I'm not
Yes, that's what,
presuming anything.
It
It's a
is that I was
recreational
proposing a
service.
recreational program.
It's a recreational program. That's why.
But, you
It's a
know,
service that we'll be offering to the town.
Wham Soccer is a recreational program and they, you know, practice on our fields, but we don't have anything to do with them.
Well, previously, we offered soccer to the youth. We offered, you know, T-ball to the youth. You know, it's.
I just don't get why you wouldn't go through the town to get a space.
The town doesn't
Rather than
run
the board of-
recreational activities.
What's that?
The town, this is the town recreation department.
It is, but I mean, if you're not gonna use anything that we offer,
What do you want? You can come to the dance. I'm not sure what you want to be included in. I'm sorry.
I just want, you know, we're not involved in it. We're not running anything. We're not
What do you,
doing anything.
what aspect of it would you be concerned that you need more control over?
I'm just wondering why you don't just go to the selectmen or the venue and ask them if you can use it.
Because I'm trying to run a program in town through the recreation department.
I don't know.
So this is what I
And
think, you know.
Dan, I think the selectmen would ask her to approach the recreation department.
But for what?
Because if it was just a one-time thing, then they would handle a rental or give her permission one time, but it's an ongoing program. It's something she
So-
wants to do monthly. It's a program she wants to develop.
So Sherry, this is what I say. If if the Parks and Rec is going to be involved in this, we need to be fully involved. It's not just
Okay.
here's a space and we say it's okay. No, we need to manage it. We need to run it in the sense that, you know, we're going to provide insurance, make sure the space is available, do the background checks, waivers, all that stuff. So it's fully a Park and Rec program. It can be 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Okay.
This is
Barbara, are
Leslie.
you okay with that? Hi, Leslie.
Hi,
Yes,
guys.
I'm,
So if I may, isn't this similar to saying
Yeah.
it's the spring swimming, swimming classes or yoga or any of the other items we've worked with and supported? Is it that same type of relationship?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
She's proposing not that she wants a program like that, but only her is responsible. All she wants is a space. But what I'm saying,
perhaps I stated my initial statement wrong in a way that you misunderstood. I was just trying to say it's not going to be consuming your time and energy a great deal. It's not going to be something that taxes you. It's not going to be something where all 6 of you have to come to the dance because you were on the recreation department.
no, that's not.
I didn't
that's
mean
the
you're not
concern.
allowed to be involved. I just meant it wouldn't be something difficult that I was willing to undertake a lot of the organizing stuff. If you want to organize it, that's fine. If you felt like you need me more into it, but I just,
Organizing, I think
well,
ultimately what we're saying is if we're going to provide this program to the public, it has to be fully Park and Rec. Otherwise, it's simply a space and the town should provide.
mhm.
Dave, I see you need to put a little input. What's up? David,
What's up?
do you need to put input, or you said something about you have to leave at 6:30, or do you want to put some input in, or?
See, I look, just a quick thing, I do have to leave, but the thing is, I'm looking at all the programs that we run through this, run through the town. I look at the bike program, I look at the basketball program. To me, it's, the insurance is covered by the town. The town does cover all the buildings that's in there. We're looking at negligence and gross negligence. Is there something wrong with the Knowlton Hall? Somebody gets injured in there, we just have to do an investigation on there based upon that. See if there's negligence or gross negligence. Like Barbara said, I know Barbara for X amount of years, decades. And I believe that she's gonna run a good program. It is a program going through the community. It's something to bring in. She calls it English country dancing, and my interpretation, square dancing or old English dancing and so forth. Yeah, you could run it through the rec department. You could advertise it in the rec department and say, hey, this is what Barbara's offering at so, and that's it. And I could see the other point is that if we went through Christine or Bill Folletti, they're both gonna tell you same thing what they tell me just recently. It has to go through the rec commission, and that's the bottom line. They don't want anything to do with a program like this. They want Sherry to deal with it, and it has to go through the recreation department. And that's what I'm gonna say. I know what you're saying, Neil. I understand that about the insurance and so forth, because I've been dealing with the insurance in town for the last 2 weeks in another program. But I believe is that everything has to go through the rec department. And That's it. So,
Amanda would like to make a motion. Is that okay with you guys?
yes,
So a motion to start the English country dancing once a month.
Amanda would like to make a motion to start the country dancing, the English country dancing once a month as Barbara has requested.
that's a second.
Who's second?
Dave
Agreed.
seconded.
Agreed.
And a vote.
Andrew agreed. Any opposed to that motion?
I didn't really hear enough about it to have a valid opinion.
Okay.
Before I go, I do want to say something really quickly. And Barbara, if you don't mind staying on, I appreciate it. One of the things that Sherry and I have been dealing with for the last 2 or 3 weeks is the proposal that was at the last meeting with the child daycare. What's that? Is the child school children childcare. The only thing right now, we're able to come up with monies and so forth. We've been meeting informally with the first selectman and also with Melissa, who's I forgot her actual title for the town.
Social service director.
Yes, and there's so we all agreed that this is something that the community does need. Courtney has presented to us roughly about 20 to 30 families that are very interested in the program itself. One of the things that we're dealing with right now is the only thing I'm waiting for is the insurance cost from the insurance company. I met with Christine today. The insurance company still hasn't returned her email or call in reference how much the insurance will cost us per month. One of the things is the program that we're looking to establish. It's going to be to the state regulations. It's not going to be a certified through the state, but talking with Mansfield, talking with Coventry and Westbrook, they all have similar programs, what we're trying to establish. But what they're doing is they're following the state guidelines to a T in reference to it. So there's some issues that we go over with the different staff. One of the things that we have to emphasize is what Neil brought up a couple of times, is that each person has to be, whoever we have, has to be do a background check. Not just only a background check, but we're also going to be having them to do a fingerprint.
Fingerprinting.
They have to be submitted through the state police. The reason why I say the state police is because that's what oversees our community. If it was like in Coventry or someplace else, it would be the local police department. Right now, I can't give any cost out. Like I said, I'm waiting for the insurance premium to come in. And once I have that, I could come up with an idea what the cost factor would be per child. But we do have a little idea. Right now, we're looking at what Mansfield does. And we're looking probably charging the same as Mansfield, or it's a possibility it might be slightly more. It depends on the cost of the insurance premium. It is something that's been positive. Once we get that, the monies have to be submitted to the first selectman, and that be presented by Sherry and I, and then the other 2 selectmen or women be also brought into the picture, and a detailed presentation will be conducted at that point. There is initial startup cost. The initial startup cost will be X amount of money. We'll say $500. Don't hold me to verbatim, but $500. If we use that as a startup cost, the program would have to pay back the town itself that $500. And how that $500 or that amount of money, it'd be dispersed over a period of months. And each month as the monies come in, it'll pay not just on the administrative costs, but also all the money that we borrowed from the town itself in itself. The startup cost is going to be the purchase of food, possibility games, or something, and first aid kits that we may need. And also if the individuals need additional training, such as in CPR, EpiPen, in first aid, and that's what we're looking at. And also it may have to cover the cost of fingerprinting. And right now, I believe in state police is $20 for fingerprinting. That's when I have to get mine done. So that's why I'm using that figure. Overall, that we're not like people we're looking to start up on the first day of school. Most likely, we're not going to get anywhere near the first day, but we shoot for October 1st and see how it goes at this point. That gives us 8 weeks, 9 weeks to go, and we should be able to see how it goes from there. The presentations, that's not only the first selectman, but also we have to do a presentation in front of the finance board in reference to the startup cost. And also we have to do a presentation in front of the school board and also the principal, and make sure that they're all involved in it, or they accept everything that we're doing at this point. The administration, we're still working on that. So Melissa has given us some ideas. And also Sherry brought up Barbara, as you, and a few other people who have done this in the past. And most likely we'd be picking their brains in reference to any issues that they came up with or what they foresee.
One really good thing, guys, is we were able to grab Coventry and Mansfield's policies and procedures booklet, and they had already done all the work, and we just need to tailor it to our program, which is maybe 90% we'd be doing what they're doing and 10% tailored to ours. So it's nice that that work is already done and in place. And Dave has done a lot of work on it already with the selectmen and checking out state protocols and writing up the plan. So we're working on it right now. I feel like the holdup is with the selectmen. We've asked twice to be on their agenda. And obviously the biggest hurdle with it is hiring. Can we hire what we need for this position? Obviously, the staff either makes or breaks it, and we certainly want to attract a really good quality person as your quote unquote head teacher. And then we also need to have assistants as well. So
one of the things that we're looking at is hiring. The hours is 3 hours, 3.25 hours per day. And on half days, it may be up to 6 hours, depending on what the definition of Ashford school system's half day is. And also that we're offering in individuals possibility administrative to assist in some administrative time. And so what we're looking at for the first person is that the head person has to be there 60% of the time based upon the state guidelines. So we're looking at that person for anywhere from 15 to 18 hours per week. On the second person or the assistant, they have to be there 40% of the time. So, and then you have the assistants that come in, which they could be there any day and so forth. There is age restrictions based upon the state guidelines. The state guidelines states that the head person has to be 20 years or above. But in the informal meetings that we had, everybody agreed it has to be an adult. An adult is defined as somebody with responsibility and that has my call is common sense. In other words, more likely it's going to be somebody that's over 30 years old or so forth. The only thing is the assistant is the same thing. It has to be an adult. But however, I forgot the technical name that they call it in the state, but the third group, it could be anybody from 16 years old and up at that point. But the first two people that we're looking for, the head and the assistant, has to be adults, has to be over a certain age at that point.
And you're looking at a 1 to 10 ratio.
Right. And 1 to 10, we're not looking at kindergarten. We're not looking at preschool. We're not looking at individuals dropping off any children. The child has to attend the school at that point, and it has to go directly from the school to the daycare, to childcare afterwards. They can't, all of a sudden, a person can't come by and say, hey, I'm dropping my son and daughter off. Can't happen. That's one of the things I had to sign up for with the insurance clause, that they have to be strictly, have to attend the school itself and then come over. So, any questions from anybody? Because I just got it, I have to be somewhere.
Right now, they just.
So
Yes,
you-
Andrew?
Sounds like you did a lot of work, Dave.
yes,
All
so
right.
you said 10, 1 to 10.
yeah,
And
it's a 10 to 1 ratio, 10 students per one child. If it came down to preschool or kindergarten, the ratio is completely different. It's 8 to 1 at that point. And there's a lot more responsibilities because of the child is 5 years or younger. So I'm keeping that grade 1 and above. So this way we stay within the guidelines. But like I said, we're not going to change anything from the state guidelines. We're going to strictly follow the guidelines. And this is one of the things recommended by Mansfield when I spoke with her over there just recently. Go by the guidelines, you'll be safe. Once you deviate from the guidelines, that's when you get into trouble. That's all of a sudden as your definition of negligence, gross negligence comes into play. If something happens to a child, whatever. So.
okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your work.
Oh, no problem.
Thanks, Dave.
Anything else before I go?
No, we don't want to hold you up. Already
Okay.
held you up already.
All right.
On time.
See you, Dave.
If anybody has any questions, Sherry has my number. And I think you guys, all you guys have my number because you all got text. So it's just give a text or give a call, and I'm more willing to give you more information in reference to it. But Barb, sometime later on, I'd like to meet up with you and pick your brain if you don't mind.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
See you, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Dave.
Yep,
Did your motion carry?
I,
Did he interrupt?
Dave got a second. and
I
then
gotta
Mary-
go.
I have no,
Okay, and then we said, were there any,
anybody else wanted to vote, so I only
Yeah.
have 3.
Say bye to Dave, Sherry.
Okay,
Hold on,
bye.
Dan. Hold on.
bye,
hold on.
Dave.
Wait, you want to finish what's going on, Sherry?
Yeah, I was just
motion?
checking with Amanda on her motion about Barbara's class, the dance class. And I know
Okay.
we had a motion
I have to get going.
accept and then a second. And then I
Right.
think I asked for if there's any no votes and I didn't hear anything. So I believe that means motion carries. Did we have at least 3 affirmatives on it?
Seems that way.
Okay,
I wasn't around for most of it, so I'm not,
You got 3 affirmatives, Sherry.
yeah.
thank you. Motion carried then. All right, anybody have anything else that they're questioning about what Dave had to say in regards to the childcare program?
Yeah, the finding people is gonna be the hard part.
Yes, it is. That's why I wish the selectmen would move forward with it and allow us to put an ad out. Because it's the finding of the people that is the critical,
So if
whether
we
it
get,
can happen or not.
if we get 30 kids, we'll need 3 of each.
You'd need
That's
3
6
people that are
people.
there all the time if you had 30 kids.
That's 6 people.
Right. And I think we'd really be closer to between 15 and 20. Most of the time it gets quite complex because people can either pay by the month or they can pay by the day. And we certainly
Sometimes
need
people,
to cater to those people that we knew were gonna be in more full-time rather than spotty attendance first.
So one of the things for daycare.
sometimes people will just offer 20 slots, and once they're full, you're on the waiting list until your program's more established.
It was flat rate every week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even snow days, all of it.
all right. Amanda just said something interesting, and that was that lots of times when you're running a daycare program or paying for daycare, it's a weekly fee. And whether you're there or not, you pay the weekly fee because you're taking a spot.
Yeah, you pay
Now-
for your slot.
That's how it works.
That's easier.
Pet daycare, yes.
So if this way that you're not managing who's here what day, you get a spot, you pay weekly, $200 a week. You manage it, whether you want to pay it this month for a month or you want to pay it weekly, but.
Yep,
but that's very-
Interesting.
That's very standard amongst daycares.
okay. The two we looked at, or the one I looked at mostly was Coventry, and they did a daily fee and a monthly fee.
So, yeah, I would.
But
just-
interesting, I like the weekly idea, and it simplifies a whole lot, doesn't it?
Because whether or not you're there, you're still paying the weekly fee.
All right, we'll take a look at that and figure out what we want to do there.
I am concerned. about the
Ashford always did by the month until the end, and the drop-in was very difficult to manage.
Care, and they're not gonna wait around till October to enroll their kids in after school. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, can you guys hear Amanda?
No,
No.
have her sit next to you.
Can you come over and say that, Amanda? Yeah, that would help. Say that again.
I was saying, I'm worried about the October startup date because as a parent like myself, I want things good to go for the school year. So you're gonna find, I think that parents are enrolling their kids in some type of after-school program and they're not gonna wait for the park and rec
Well,
program.
Most parents are pretty much half done with it by now, enrolling their kids. You
That's
know,
my only worry,
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
worried
now
too,
you're
and I've
gonna,
said
like,
that.
You got like what, 30 kids, but parents aren't gonna wait.
Yeah, if it's not ready to go, we may lose out. We certainly would need to let them know about the program, and even if we had to say with a start date, a pending
Yes.
start date of October 1.
Yeah.
You know. Can you guys hear both of us?
no,
Yes.
Anybody else have anything else to add with that? We're concerned about the start date.
yeah, I would be concerned about it as well, because I know a lot of people are freaking out that there's not a couple less daycares now than there used to be, so they're trying to get everything scheduled like as soon as school ended, just about.
Yep.
People I know. You ready for this, Sherry?
Yeah. What's that, Dan?
Banana bunt cake.
Is
I
that
didn't go
that-
outside today. It was too hot. It was too hot to go outside, so
It looked electric, that
with the, that's
frosting on it.
my icing technique.
So what time frame do you think daycare could be completed by? Realistically,
I don't know. I talked to Bill about it briefly today, and he said, I don't realistically think you'll be ready to go for the start of the school year. And someone else told me that it takes 6 months to get fingerprinted or have your background check done through the police.
are you kidding me?
No,
So then it's done. It's not gonna happen.
I don't know how true that is. There's other avenues to go. Like, for example, the background checks that I do for our coaches, the Protect Youth Sports is the name of the organization. That does not take anywhere near that long.
Yeah, if I remember mine, yeah, wasn't that long.
So we won't know till we try, and we can't background check anybody until we can hire them, and we can't hire them until we get okay from the selectmen to go ahead and advertise this.
You'd have you and Dave run it the first month.
Oh, Barbara, you're just full of wonderful suggestions.
How about Dan? Dan, you want to be a daycare provider?
Well,
I could pass a background check.
I'm not so sure of that
Hey,
one.
you're
buddy.
halfway there then.
you
We
keep the
avoid some of
parents
that
happy, keep the
background.
kids happy.
We can dress you up like a clown.
We
Really?
avoid some of that background check stuff if we end up hiring a para or a teacher that's already at the school.
No,
Yeah.
if I ran an after,
Hire someone who works in a
program.
school system.
if I ran an after-school program, it would have to have a target range.
I don't think that
No,
would
they're
work.
using the children as targets, Dan.
No, we'll teach them about gun safety.
Education,
Okay.
education.
Oh, wow. The other meeting is supposed to start at 7, you guys, in a few minutes. I think we're gonna have to move a lot of this stuff on the agenda to the next meeting. I did have a couple of things that I wanted to let you guys know. These program data sheets here. Our summer camp. Our income was $4,000. Our expenses were around $2,000. I'm showing a $2,000 profit at summer camp. Our summer concert series, we were budgeted to spend $3,500. That last band pushed us over and we spent $3,600. So we're $100 more off there. However, the barbecue covered it. We took in $800 in income at the barbecue. We spent $454. We're showing a net profit of $345, minus $100 to cover what we owed for the band, and we're still $245.
That's pretty good.
What
It's
else did you
awesome.
spend? What else did you spend money on?
We spent money on pork. We spent
Corn.
money at Aldi's on rolls. We spent $90 on corn. We spent $173 for coleslaw, paper goods, lemonade, iced tea,
Ice cream.
ice cream. We spent money on butter and purple cabbage, and we spent money on ice and tablecloths for a total of $454.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, it went really well. Dan, you're the reason that we make money on it, and the pork is excellent. It was really good. I thought we had great teamwork that night from the commission. I'm delighted with how it worked out. Leslie, your suggestion of bringing in red satin worked out well. They brought in the biggest crowd that we had all season, and people really complimented their music.
Even with
Val
the
Rogers was
rain.
wonderful, and the whole band sounded great. So we took that little bit of a reach to go over our budget, but I think it was well worth it.
We had a big crowd even with the rain.
Yep,
And they hung around.
Yeah.
yes. Our other program, bike camp, I wish Garth was here to hear these numbers. We had 21 campers. We took in $1,050. We spent $102 on popsicles, awards, and pictures, and yielded a net profit of $947 on bike camp this year.
Nice.
I don't have the numbers. I started working on them for summer swimming, but I don't have that one complete. But that's what our program data looks like for our summer programs. Anybody have anything to say in regards to any of those programs or evaluating them?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay.
They ran well.
Coming up next is our camp out, you guys. Is everybody still on board for that?
Yes.
It
Yep, I'm
is
in.
supposed to be August 19th and 20th, 5 p.m. to 12 noon the next day at Ashford Memorial Park. We charge $20 a family, and that goes toward the food. We cook burgers and dogs and have s'mores the night before, and then Dan does his famous pancakes in the morning.
worth every bit of $20 for a family.
Sure is.
Especially if you have a lot of kids.
Yes, I have not heard from anyone from the public yet who's wanting to sign up for it. Lots of times it's us, you guys, so we'll, as it gets closer, figure out where we're at.
I don't know why the
And then
public
I've got
doesn't want.
until the 19th to get our fall program schedule in order, so that's what I'm working on next.
Okay,
Anybody have any further questions or discussions? I think we can wrap up this meeting and delve into anything further in our next meeting that we need to. Does that sound like a plan?
sounds good.
Oh, yes, I'm so glad Amanda just said that. I'm supposed to talk to you guys about Family Day. It's scheduled for September 18th. Let me see. Yes, September 18th, Sunday, 1 to 4. That's our traditional third Sunday of the month in September. We're getting pushback from the library. They want us to move it to a Saturday
Why?
because she has staff on then that could work. And if it's on a Sunday, they won't get any staff there to help.
Oh, normally the head librarian staffs it.
And she's
They're on
not
salary.
available and has other commitments then.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
it's not about her or him or whoever it is. That's,
How do you guys feel? Do
So,
you like our traditional 1 to 4 time on the third Sunday, the 18th of September? Or would you be willing to consider a Saturday or a different date going forward?
I
I
don't know
say
why we
keep
have,
it.
I mean, why do we have to change everything? For one little entity of it. You know, other people plan on that weekend that also come there to set up their stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wasn't supposed to say anything, so I channeled my thoughts right into someone who had the right to say something, and he said exactly what I was thinking.
well, one thing we were concerned with was that we weren't getting participation from the senior center. We weren't getting participation from the library. And so we met with them and that's what they were saying.
We haven't been getting participation anyway.
The senior center, I don't think ever participated. They didn't even used to let us use the bathroom.
They used to put out hats and ribbons and have a booth where you made hats.
Oh, yeah.
I did mention to the librarian that if they can't have people there or have a booth, we would be very happy if they could make a donation or would cover the cost of a caricaturist or a balloon twister or a face painter. And she thought they could consider that, but thought that money for that might need to come from the Friends.
Poor Friends. They're always wanted for everything.
For money.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything positive about changing the date. It sounds to me like you guys are all pretty committed to the third Sunday.
If we do it, we don't want to set a precedence.
Yeah, I mean, you change it once, then every year it's gonna be, well, you know, you changed it last time, why can't we do it this time? And it's just gonna, like he said, it's gonna set a precedence that, oh, we can have it anytime we want, you know?
Correct.
I think it's unfortunate you're not getting those two groups to participate, but in the past they always did. We used to plan for it well in advance too. It was always pretty cool.
Okay, I'm gonna close the meeting now. We'll discuss any more of this at our next one. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, I hope you all
Motion
know
to
that the
adjourn.
town, The town meeting that is voting on the ARPA funding is happening now. On the outside of your citizen is the Zoom codes for it if you want to Zoom in. Or it is a hybrid meeting. You can come down here to Town Hall. It's right across from my office where they're meeting. It is a vote on items A through U, and one of them in there is our pickleball court. Another one is Joe Kalinowski put in a project to redo the fencing down at Ashford Memorial Park, and I'm just talking about fencing the posts that separate where cars can go and where cars can't go. A lot of those posts have rotted and are pulled out, and they need to redo them. So I don't think anything else is a Park and Rec project, but it's still good to support it all and vote if you can. Obviously, you have to be a registered Ashford resident to vote in that meeting. Tomorrow is also more voting. The primaries are happening. So you'll see voting signs outside Town Hall tomorrow. This is a hearing tonight. They're voting on the ARPA funding. And thank you very much for attending the Park and Rec meeting tonight.
All right.
Anybody
you
have
for
any
having me.
questions? Were we good?
Thank you for
good.
having me. I'm sorry if I was too outspoken.
No, you were fine.
not at
Thank you,
all.
Barbara. We'll talk some more, okay?
Sure.
Thank you
All
for
right.
being here.
Thank
Bye.
you, Andrew.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye-bye.
We need
Good
a
night.
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Somebody else second?
Second.
Andrew seconded, Amanda thirded.
Thirded.
Motion to adjourn, and that's at 7:08. Thank you, guys. Good night.
All right.
Good night.
All right.